Hello everyone, this is Ritvik and welcome back to the channel. A few days ago I made the Titan Solo Flawless guide. A lot of people seem to like it, more people seem to dislike it, but I promise I will make another one. So here's a Solo Flawless guide for Hunter. All the footage for this video has been exclusively recorded, unlike the last one which I took bits from my stream. So hope you guys like it. If you like the content, please subscribe and let's get right into it.
You ain't never gonna slow me down, 'cause I feel alive now.
Let me explain how the dungeon works. Every time you kill an enemy in the dungeon, they drop an engram. If you pick up the engram, it gives you a buff called Burdens of the Riches. Every 10 burdens you pick up resets all your abilities and your super. Every burden has a timer of 30 seconds. If 30 seconds pass, you will die. You can reset your burdens by going near the soul crystals which are on the maps where burdens drop, basically. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, the equipment which we are going to use. For the kinetic slot, we can use whatever kinetic weapon we want. For mostly it's going to be fire clear, so I would recommend an SMG, auto rifle, or maybe even a hand cannon. For the energy weapon slot, for the boss fight you need a glaive for the method which I'm going to show. Other than that, for the other encounters you can use whatever you want. You can use grenade launchers, you can use fusion rifles, but for the boss fight you will need a glaive. Other than that, we are going to be using Trinity Ghoul for add clear in some of the areas. For boss damage, we are going to be using the Lament, and for the other part, for the jumping puzzles and stuff, we are going to using any random legendary sword, preferably having Eager Edge. Now, for our subclass, we are going to be running Void for the most part because Void is broken. Simple as that. For our armor, I am going to be using Wormhusk Crown. The reason why I'm using this is because dodging gives a bit of HP, and because we are solo and we don't have a lot of resilience or recovery, the extra HP is going to increase our survivability by a lot. Other than that, in here, I didn't show the aspects last time, so I got a lot of hate for it. So here's the aspects. We are going to be using Vanishing Steps. And Vanishing Steps with Wormhusk means we will go invisible and get a bit of HP back every time we dodge, which is going to be a lot of use, which is going to be pretty useful. Other than that, we are using Stylish Executioner because, yes, getting kills with our melee ability will make us invisible. And there are going to be a lot of thralls which can easily be killed by this useless melee. So that's why we are using Stylish Executioner. Trapper's Anguish is, we can use it for the Sparrow encounter, but other than that, we don't need Trapper's Anguish. Other than that, the fragments which I'm using is Echo of Expulsion for the Explodes, Echo of Remnants because we are using Vortex Grenade, and that is going to increase the duration of Vortex Grenade. Other than that, we are using Echo of Instability because I don't have anything else. You can't get kills with snare bombs easily, so getting volatile from grenades is going to be really helpful. And we are using Echo of Starvation because Devour. It's always good to have Devour. Who doesn't like Devour? So that's what we are going to be using. Other than that, for one part I'm going to switch to Stasis, but other than that, we are going to be using Void for the most part. Then, like I said, for exotic armor, we are going to be using Wormhusk. Other than that, we can use Stompies for some of the jumping parts. But if you have a sword and if you have high enough mobility, you don't even need to use Stompies. Other than that, make sure you have Sword Ammo Finder, Sword Reserve, and Sword Scavenger mods equipped, because we are going to be using Lament for boss GPS, and having those mods is going to be a lot of help. Okay, so the first part of the dungeon. For this part, we are going to be using spectral blades, which is the roaming super. I'm going to explain why we need these later. Other than that, we are going to be using extraordinary retention, any primary weapon, Trinity Ghoul for Atlia, and a sword which we will use for jumping puzzles, but we'll probably not need those. So all we need to do is just kill the ads and pick up these engrams. Like I explained, for this first part you need to deposit around 60 engrams to move on to the next part. So we just kill the ads and pick up engrams. Simple as that. Now for the first part, there are very few chances of you actually dying. One thing is that every 3 volleys or 3 batches of enemies that spawn from the cave, there will be 2 high wizards that spawn up top over there. Those high wizards can melt you in seconds because you don't have a lot of resilience as a hunter, or you may be a hunter that uses a resilience build, I don't know, but they can melt you. So keep an eye out for those. If they do spawn, just kill them real quick. And yeah, this is why we use Trinity Ghoul. All you need to do is spam at the cave, the enemies spawn and they die. And just like that, you can see the wizard spawn up top, and by the looks of it I don't have enough, so I might have to kill them. They usually do not enter the cave. As a titan you can put down a barricade, but as a hunter you just need to kill them. Okay, so I had exactly enough. So this is why we needed our roaming super. We come in, there will be an eye of this, I don't remember the full name, but that thing over there. So we get a kill with our melee. I did not get it there, but usually just get a kill with our melee. That gives you a 10-second invisibility. If not, you can pop your roaming super. It makes you invis and you can just run through. Simple as that. You don't need to bother killing any enemies there because you are not doing catalyst quest, nor are you doing ornament. We are trying to solo flawless, so survivability matters the most. We follow on ahead and come over to rusted gangplank. Over here there are 2 doors. We open the one on the left. Now if you look at the ground, there is a pressure plate. This is why we use a sword. Jump over the pressure plate with a sword and do that again. Simple as that. Or if you don't have a sword equipped, you can just go around by jumping on this desk. That opened this door. We go in, jump over to the left one, jump ahead and jump down here, and we do this entire thing around. You can just jump from up to down, but we are trying to play it safe here because, like I said, we are trying to do solo flawless. We don't want to take any risks. So we jump up over here, up here, and up here. You can skip some of those jumps if you have chompies on, but yeah, that's the easiest part. Come up here, make sure not to jump to the left. There is a pressure plate that will kill you, and we carry on ahead. Open the door and we go in to this door. There is a pressure plate, do not walk on it, it will kill you. We kill all the enemies that spawn in here. There are going to be cursed thralls that can maybe one-shot you, probably not, but they can, so kill them. Then we open this door, jump out here. If you can't make those jumps, use a sword or use chompies. Come in here. There is also a pressure plate in this room, which is right there. The thrall got killed by it. There are 2 thralls, one of those right there. You kill the second one, activate the switch that closes that door, open this door. We come over here and jump over here. Now we do not activate this switch right here. Instead we go up here and we activate the switch. An eye of the... what is this thing's official name? I don't know. This thing will spawn. Just shoot it down with Trinity Ghoul. Will take 4 to 5 shots. Jump over. Kill all the ads once again. The pressure plate is still there. Do not walk on it, like that thrall did. Deactivate the switch that will reopen this door. And jump over. Now if you are having trouble with the jumps, like I said, you can use chompies. So we kill those ads, activate the switch. Now for this next part, if you have low mobility, I would definitely recommend chompies because this is a pretty long jump. 2, 3, ego edge, and over we go. My sword has ego edge on it, so increase launch distance, but like I said, you can use chompies and that will make that jump very easy. So we open the door which has this orange lamp in front of it. That one will kill you. And we come over to this area. Kill the ads at the spawn. And here you have to activate switches in 3 doors. The switches are in these doors respectively. The doors are outside door number 1, inside door number 3, which is right over there, inside door number 1 again, and then there will be a Scotch Can enemy which spawns inside door number 2, whom we need to kill to move on to the next area. So first up, we kill these ads right here. Every time you activate a switch, there will be ads and a wizard that will spawn outside the door in which you need to go. For some reason a wizard didn't spawn here, but after activating switch outside door number 1, we go over to door number 3, and as you can see, a high wizard spawned over there. Other than that, there are acolytes. Now make sure not to jump in this low thing from the high wizard. You can't jump while you are inside it and you will fall to your death. So run inside door number 3, activate the switch. You don't need to bother killing all the ads. If you can run past them, just run past them. Then we go back to door number 1. You still have your super, you still have your abilities. If you have any trouble with ad clearing, which you shouldn't because of Trinity Ghoul, Trinity Ghoul will one-shot most of the ads except for the Scotch Cannon guy whom we are about to go kill. But if you have any trouble during ad clear or something, just pop your super and go for it. There's no point in saving your super around these parts. But do know that picking up the Scotch Cannon will reset your super. This is not important right now, but this is going to be important during the boss fight. Because especially the method which I'm going to show for the final boss fight is going to involve us switching between 2 supers. So we come over here and we shoot it in this, and we hold the shoot button till it charges to 3. The moment it charges 3, you leave the shoot button. You can drop the Scotch Cannon now. Okay, so we move on to the next part, which is this hallway which has killed a lot of innocent souls. It's pretty easy, but the easiest method I'm going to show is, you see this red line which is made on the stairs from the light coming from above. The moment you pass this one red line is when the rolly thing, the cylinder, starts coming down. So all you need to do is go up, come down, hide. That's the best way to bait it. So just this line over here, and then we move on up to the first major encounter of the dungeon, which is the ogre encounter. Like I said, if you can't make any jumps, use chompies or use a sword. Okay, so the ogre encounter. Okay, so the first major encounter of the dungeon, the ogre. For this guy, we are going to be using any weapon which we feel like is good for Atlia. What I will recommend is using glaive, especially with unrelenting, because the shield will keep you alive and unrelenting's health regeneration is going to be really useful. But if not, you can also use grenade launchers, you can use fusion rifles, whatever you like for Atlia. I'm going to be using my glaive just like I did in the Titan video, and we are going to be using Lament for DPS. Make sure to have your sword ammo finder, sword reserves and sword Avenger mods equipped. Now, one thing about swords since Witch Queen is that they changed how swords work. So if you are using a sword while you are mid-air, you can't exactly do combos perfectly. So we are going to try to stay on the ground when we are trying to do the combos. The combo which we will be using for Lament is going to be 1 light attack, 2, 3, 4 and a heavy attack. That's going to be the combo we are going to be using. If we can't do 4 light attacks, we can do 3 light attacks and 1 heavy attack. So let's go. I'll explain the encounter as we go. So how does this encounter work? As you can see, there's a big fat ogre in the middle, and just like all the bosses, he is immune. So how do we take out his immunity? So just like all the encounters in the dungeon, we kill ads, we get engrams, we get burdens. We deposit the burdens in this crystal right here. We deposit 25 burdens that will start DPS. So how do we get enemies to spawn? There are no enemies here other than the fallen which are fighting over there. To get enemies to spawn, we kill the fallen guy with the cannon over there. We shoot the cannon in those things like we did in the last room. The rooms will open and a bunch of enemies will spawn in there. So another thing I forgot to do was to equip Mobius Quiver, because we need that for Atlia. Me making a small mistake ended up costing me almost the entire run. So we are just going to run over here. We kill the guy, Scotch Cannon guy. Now one small tip is that you can pick up the Scotch Cannon while from under the bridge, so you don't need to go up the platform and risk getting hit by the ogre. We shoot the cannon there. Charge it to 3, 1, 2 and 3. That opens the room. Now we are going to try to keep the cannon with us as much as possible, because if the cannon despawns, then the Scotch Cannon guy will respawn again, we have to kill him again and blah blah blah. So we are going to try to keep the Scotch Cannon with us as much as possible. The knights will drop 3 engrams and the others will drop 1. You can get up to, I think, a maximum of 14 engrams per room. So keep that in mind. We kill the knights, we kill the enemies, and just like that, do not let the thing despawn. If it despawns, the fallen will respawn again. But you will have to go and kill them again, and it's just annoying. That's all it is. So we deposit all the burdens, wait for a bit, go invis, and wait for him to switch aggro over to those guys. If you still have the cannon, you don't need to go wait for aggro to switch. You can just run over. For some reason he is still aggroed at me. Love to see it. 1, 2, 3. We go in. We can use our super to add clear because we'll get our super back. Do not be afraid to use your super at any instance in this dungeon. You will get it back pretty easily. There we go. We got 13 from the last one and we got 12 from this one. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to clear every single ad which I can find before the timer runs out. And then we run over and deposit the burdens. Now the reason why I'm carrying the Scotch cannons with me is that if the Scotch cannon is left over there, it will despawn and the Scotch cannon guy over there will respawn, who will get in your way later while you're doing DPS. So we just keep it with us for as long as we can so that we can do DPS easily. As you can see, if the elevation between you and the target is not perfect, is not the same, the swords do get finicky. But do as much DPS as you can and then just run off. Wait for the fallen to respawn and for his aggro to switch. I said aggro to switch, my guy. And then basically we just do what we did before over again until the boss is dead. If you do it perfectly, you can do it in 4 phases. If you are really good, you can maybe even do 3 phases. But if not, you can do 4, 5, 6 phases. You can take as many phases as you want, just make sure you don't die. So after this we are just going to rinse and repeat what we did at the start. So I'm just going to start time lapse. So see you guys after the encounter is done. And that should be enough to do it. And I don't even need to take out my sword. There it is. That's the ogre. So collect your loot. And now we get ready for one of the most annoying encounters, most inconsistent encounters, considering as you saw in my run right there were like 2 or 3 glitches. Like that thing over there, and sometimes me flying off, or the guard or lament guard just not working. Like there were a bunch of glitches there. So if there are any glitches in the next run, next part, that is the part which has even more so than the ogre, the highest chance of killing solo flawless runs. Because if you make a single mistake, you die. You don't have a second go. So for the next part, what I am going to recommend is use Risk Runner, because Risk Runner has a arc conductor and all enemies over here are arc damage enemies, so it will reduce the amount of damage you take from the enemies. Other than that, I am going to recommend you use a Sparrow that has shorter cooldown between summonings, because in this part if your Sparrow ever gets destroyed, you will have to wait for the cooldown, and that will kill your run because you don't have enough time. So I would recommend using a Sparrow which has a perk called shorter cooldown between summonings, so that even if your Sparrow in any instance does get destroyed like that, it will get summoned quickly, and getting your Sparrow destroyed won't mean that the run is dead. Okay. Other than that, another thing about this part, if you see that there is smoke coming out of your Sparrow, get a new Sparrow as soon as you can, so that if the Sparrow does not get destroyed, you can get a new Sparrow without the Sparrow going into cooldown. But if your Sparrow does get destroyed, it will go in a cooldown, and then you will have to wait to get a new one. So I do not have Risk Runner on me, fair enough. Other than that, I would recommend switching Stasis subclass and using Shatter Dive. This is only going to be useful for the very last mine, but yeah. So I forgot to activate it, I'm an idiot. So you activate and just follow the route which I am taking. All you need to do in this encounter is defuse those mines. There is a 15-second timer between each one, and going through the fuses which I am showing on my screen right now will increase the timer by 5 seconds. Like I said, all you need to do is pass through them, you don't need to wait in them. If your Sparrow is ever on fire, just get a new one so that you don't have to wait for the cooldown. Do not take the right fuse over there for the second one. That is a death trap, it will get you killed. This one, just pass through it, go through a container, get this fuse right here. For this one, even if you do not get that fuse, you can still make it, because there's a fuse right here and you have ample amount of time. So we come over here, hop off the Sparrow and go for the hardest one here. So we get this mine right here, and then we will take the left jump. You can take the right one, but there are ads on the right one and they might destroy your Sparrow. When you're at the top, you get off, hit this mine right here and use Shatter Dive, and that is the entire encounter. Now if anyone who is new to this dungeon, this is one of the hardest encounters. If you know which mines you need to get, and like if you know the entire route, this is a pretty simple encounter. So now we move on to the next part. Just pass through the salt mine. Try not to get lost or die to fall damage. And there we go. So for this encounter right here, let me explain it. For this encounter, just like before, I would recommend getting your add clear loadout. My recommendation, like always, sword, so that we don't fall off the island, and Trinity Ghoul for add clear. You can use whatever subclass you want. I'm using Revenant because the super is going to be decently useful for add clear. You can use whatever else you want though. You can use Stasis, you can use Void, and you can use Spectral Blades. Roaming supers are good for this one, so you can use Spectral Blades, Arc Staff, or maybe Blade Barrage if you want to go solar. But I'm going to be using Stasis for this, and we are going to be using Trinity Ghoul. So how does this encounter work? There are a bunch of islands. In one of the islands there is going to be a servitor with a shield, immune shield, that will spawn. To take out the immune shield, we need to kill a bunch of ants and deposit the burdens that are dropped in sword crystals. The sword crystals are in the rooms like this, right here. You can see one of the sword crystals in the room over there. You deposit 20 burdens that will remove the shield from the servitor. Once the shield is removed, you put the servitor in front of the cannon and launch its corpse towards the shield, towards the fallen shield. One of these things over here. You do that 4 times, rinse and repeat, and that's the entire encounter. Very few chances of you dying. There are a few yellow bar, there is a yellow bar captain and yellow bar scotch cannon guys. They are the only ones who have a decent chance of killing you, but on that there are very low odds of you dying here. So yeah, let's get right into it. Get the scotch cannon. Now as you can see, for me the servitor is right there. The servitor can spawn on any of the islands, so we just line the cannon up where we need to go. Come back here. You can follow this orange pipe or tube to see where this thing is, where you need to shoot. So you shoot in here, stand in front of the cannon, and then launch yourself. You don't need to charge the shot. As long as you shoot inside it, it will still work and launch you. So come over here. You can ignore the scotch cannon guy. Come over here and launch yourself. Once we are here, we can get rid of the scotch cannon. We don't need it anymore. We kill the ads and get 20 engrams. Shanks don't give engrams, but Drex give engrams. Captains give 3 engrams. Try to kill this scotch cannon guy first, because he's one of the only few people in this encounter who has a chance of actually getting in the way and killing you. As long as you're Trinity Ghoul, it's very easy to add clear. You can easily kill all the enemies and get the burdens. And remember, every 10 burdens will reset your super. So do not be, if you are ever in a sticky situation, do not be afraid to use your super. And that right there is the yellow bar captain. He is one of the only enemies in this part who has a chance of killing us. So there we go. 20 engrams, kill all the ads, get all the engrams out of the way, and then we just sit here and deposit. I'm going to get this one as well. Make sure to get all the engrams which are in the way of the cannon, so that you don't actually pick up an engram and kill yourself. While you're killing this guy, do not use a sword, because I have figured that the swords are pretty finicky and they sometimes launch you off the map, or launch him off the map. So after we kill him, we can just push him. With Titan you can just punch him, but for some reason that does not work with hunters. You just push him in the cannon. He can fall off the map. If it does, then you will have to get a new ball by going to another island and like clear. You basically have to clear one extra island if he ever falls off the map. So make sure the cannon is lined up. You have 1 minute 30, so you have a lot of time. Make sure the cannon is lined up to those things. Then get the scotch cannon and we yeet the ball towards the servitor shield. And that is 1. We need to do that 3 more times. So just we rinse, go over to the island where we see the servitor, which is right there. Then we rinse and repeat what we just did, and simple as that. So it's going to be a lot of repetition. So as usual, I'm going to start a time lapse. See you guys at the end of this. And that is this encounter done. That servitor gave me a lot of... That servitor was pretty annoying. But yeah, so just launch yourself to the middle island, get your loot and get ready for the final encounter of the dungeon, which is the boss encounter. Come over here, come over to the cannon, shoot this thing, launch yourself up. Get rid of the Scotch cannon, we won't need that anymore. And we move on. Sunken Lair, the boss room. So, for this part, we are going to be needing a glaive. We need a glaive because the method which I am going to be using requires you to have a glaive on you, else you will die when you are depositing engrams. Other than that, we are going to be using Lament for DPS like before. And for our subclass, we are going to be switching between Spectral Blades and Mobius Quiver. I will explain why we need that later while we are doing the run, but at the start, get your Spectral Blades ready. So, how does this encounter work? We are going to be we are going to be dividing the map between two parts. This is the middle line, this is the left part of the map, that is the right part. Everything we are going to be doing for this encounter is going to be done on the left part right here. We are never going over to the right part. The reason for that is there are a bunch of crevices on the right part, and for some reason the burdens, the engrams, fall off into the water. If you ever at any point touch the water, you're dead. So for that reason we are going to be using the left side. So how do we get burdens, you ask? We get burdens by shooting these things with a Scotch cannon, just like we did in every other room. The Scotch cannon guy is going to be running around everywhere in the map once the encounter starts. We kill him, we get his Scotch cannon. So how does that work? When we shoot one of these things, there are going to be engrams that spawn everywhere on the map from these things. But we are only going to be using the left side, so I will just explain the left side. So what are we going to do? On the left side there will be 10 engrams up top. This is the top side. There will be 10 engrams that will spawn up here, and then there will be 10 engrams that spawn down there, which I call the river side or lake side, what I want to call. I call it the river side. So on the top there will be 10 engrams, bottom there will be 10 engrams, so total of 20 engrams which we are going to pick up at every batch. Once we shoot this thing right here, that will close and will not open until we shoot another one. So for that we are going to come over here and we are going to shoot this one. Try to shoot, when we are shooting it, try to shoot a bit higher, because sometimes it's a bit finicky and it misses. But what we are going to do is shoot this one. That will get us 20 more engrams, 10 up top, 10 at the bottom. Then we come back over here and then we will get 10 engrams. We need 60 engrams to start bot's GPS. But the reason why we are going to get 10 engrams is because we are going to be using the invisibility from Spectral Blades in order to deposit the engrams. Then we'll come back over here. We are going to keep our Scotch cannon, make sure that it does not despawn. Then we are going to switch our super from Spectral Blades over to Mobius Quiver for boss GPS. Then we will shoot over here, get our 10 engrams that will give us our super. Then we are going to go to the middle, use our glaive shield. We can use our invisibility from our dodge, but it does not last long enough. I have tested, it does not last long enough for us to deposit all the 10 engrams. So we are going to use our glaive shield in order to deposit the engrams. Once the boss GPS starts, the boss will go up there. We are going to go over there and do DPS. Now when the boss spawns, there are going to be two minions that will spawn with him. There will be a Shank, and there will be another fallen guy who is going to be running around over here. The Shank never leaves this arena, same for the boss, but the other guy sometimes jumps over to the right platform over here. Sometimes he comes down here and he can pick up your engrams which you drop. So sometimes you will drop engrams while you're picking up the top side engrams. Sometimes he goes down there and scoops up like 5-6 engrams from down there. If that happens, do not worry, you can get as many engrams as you want. Other than that, the boss sometimes throws slow ops. You might know the fallen slow ops. They look like just like a melee. They are going to be on the ground like mines. You go near them, they will create a slow field. Make sure to shoot them whenever you see them. The reason for that is we are going to be on a 30-second timer, and because most of the guides will tell you to go get like 20 engrams, go to a middle deposit, 20 more engrams, go to a middle deposit, but I'm telling you to get 50. But that is also risky, as it is time saving, because if you get stuck in the slow field and run out of time, you will die. So make sure to shoot the slow fields the moment you see them. Other than that, during the hunter guide, I told you to kill the Shank right at the start. We are not going to be doing that in this one. The main reason is that we don't have a bubble. The boss will kill us. So that is all there is to be explained. Let's get ready to start. Get into it. Make sure you have your mods equipped like I said before. Make sure everything is ready, and let's get right into it. Right to a flag, get your ammo, and we'll go over here. That will spawn the boss. We'll straight up jump over to the left. We will not try to fight the boss or his minions. The boss is going to be immune. We just come over, kill the ads while the Scotch Cannon guy respawns. Actually spawns in this matter. This is the slow up which I was talking about. We just shoot those whenever we see them, and we'll kill all the ads at the top platform. After a while there will be ads that will spawn on the bottom platform as well. So here's the Scotch Cannon guy. We kill him. 2 glaive shots and a finisher is enough to kill him, so that's that. So we get the Scotch Cannon and then we shoot it in here. Make sure all the ads are dead so that they don't get in the way. If they do get in the way, just throw a grenade. It will kill them all. You can use the Scotch Cannon to destroy the slow ops as well, but we need the Scotch Cannon for like the shots to get the engrams, so we need to conserve as many Scotch Cannon shots as we can. So got 20 engrams. I'm going to shoot it over there and run back up top. That is going to give us another 20 engrams. Down here, get the 10 engrams down here. As you can see, the Tracer Shank deals a lot of HP. That guy is going to be the most annoying thing to deal with while you're doing boss GPS, because if he gets a good angle on you, he will like kill you if he gets a decent enough angle on you. So try to angle yourself well when you're up top doing DPS. As you saw, there is a very small timer. So if I got stuck in a slow op right there, that would have killed me. So what we are going to do is go over to the middle, pop our super, and do not stand where you pop your super, because they are going to keep attacking that place over and over thinking you're still there. So just sit somewhere. Do not pick up the Scotch Cannon after popping your super. That will cancel your super. So after you're done, just dodge, pick up the Scotch Cannon. Usually that should work. I messed up there, but Trying to fall in the water, it will get you killed. Like I said, come back over, kill the ads. They might the ads also get in your way during DPS, so having them cleared helps in that way as well. After we clear the ads, we come out here, shoot this, and get our 10 engrams. But before we pick up our 10 engrams, we are going to be switching our super to Mobius Quiver so that we can do DPS. Now we do not need our Scotch Cannon anymore, so we are going to ditch it, and we are, like I said, go invest and try to use your glaive in whatever direction the Tracer Shank is. He is the one who is the most annoying one. The boss has less health than the ogre, but the Tracer Shank and the other ads make it way harder, and the fact that he can also yeet you off the map. And there we go. After that is done, just get in a corner and get ready for another phase. We can easily 4-phase him if we are good with DPS. I wasn't because the Shank almost killed me and I had to go heal. Get your glaive shield ready, kill the ads, and get ready for the second phase. So that is what we are going to be doing now. After the first phase, the boss starts throwing the slow mines more frequently, so keep an eye on that. And yeah, now we are just going to rinse and repeat what we did before. So time to start the time lapse, I guess. See you guys when we are done with the dungeon. And we are almost done with the boss. There we go. And that is Grasp of Avarice solo flawless on Hunter. I tried to make the video better than last time, so hope you guys liked it. If you guys liked it, please like the video and subscribe for more Destiny content. I'm not going to be making a Warlock guide because I don't play Warlock. But yeah, if you guys like the video, please subscribe. More videos will on the way. I will try to make as much daily content as possible. So yeah, if you guys like the content, please subscribe and see you guys later.